Welcome to Both Sides of the Coin. This is the show where facts do matter and political correctness does not. We'll get into some heated discussions, and at the end, we'll always be able to shake hands and stay friends. So, let's.
My man JV, I'm just gonna butt in. How are you today, my friend?
I'm doing good. So today we're gonna just do it a little bit different. I have no idea what the topics are. I let
You
Adam.
know what the first one is, and then you wanted to get right into it because you're like, oh, I'm ready to go.
I'm gonna let Adam start us off so I can, laugh through the topics as we go.
So there's three topics I want to talk about today. We'll start with the first one, which is, I saw this on Mr. Whitlock's Twitter today, and it really got me thinking about it. Aqib Talib and his brother obviously got into an altercation with sports and a major with sports referees and coaches, and obviously a major topic today has to do with how parents are over involved with their children's sports and get into fights with referees and umpires and take it too far. And I think that it is a serious problem. I've witnessed it. I was at a sporting event with my son. He 7U baseball, so 7-year-old kids baseball, and an umpire made a ruling that if you don't slide into the bat, which is in the rules of the tournament, if you don't slide, or if you slide head first, you're thrown out because it's dangerous for 7-year-olds. Slide head first into a bag. You're only allowed to slide feet first. And it's very emphasized that you're not supposed to slide head first because they're 7-year-old. We're not talking about big kids. We're talking about 7-year-old kids. So it's instructional. It's meant to, encourage them. And so this happened. And when I tell you the other team freaked out, I literally thought someone was going to pull a gun. That's how mad they were at this umpire, screaming. It was unbelievable. I've never witnessed anything like it. And, obviously what happened with Aqib Talib in this whole situation where he got into an altercation with the opposing head coach and his brother ended up pulling a gun and shooting him. I want to know why this is not being talked about on ESPN. Why? It's a perfect example of it going too far. It's a great time to bring it up. I see it as a perfect example, regardless of anything. Why do you think it's not being brought up on ESPN?
So, first of all, I've heard the story, and I have ESPN.
Not what I asked. You're diverting again. The question I asked you.
Not diverting.
Why is it not being brought up on ESPN?
It has been brought up on ESPN.
Really?
Yeah, how do you think I know about it? From ESPN.
When do you watch ESPN? I'm so tired. I'm between all these shows. All I do.
I have ESPN on 24 hours a day. ESPN is always on.
Find me the article on ESPN.
I do the article on ESPN?
Sure. Find me something about it on ESPN.
It's been on the ticker throughout the whole last couple of days.
Okay, show me the article. It should be front page because it involves a high-profile athlete, and this is a perfect example of parents going too far in sports. And if you want to make a statement, this is the time. Why is this not front page? Why?
Okay, so what's the whole story? Let's see what the whole story is for people that don't know, because you're saying that it's not
the whole story in a nutshell was that Aqib Talib got into an argument with I think the story was, I apologize, he got into an argument with the referee and started this whole big fight where the opposing head coach got involved and Aqib Talib's brother shot him and killed him over a football game. The opposing head coach, not the referee. Correct. The opposing head coach.
Correct. The coach's 9-year-old son was on the field.
Right. And witnessed his father get shot.
witnessed his father die, which is pretty horrible.
Pretty horrible.
Probably the worst thing in the world a kid could ever see.
Yeah. Over a stupid child's football game that literally you won't remember in 2 years. He'll remember for the rest of his life now. But I'm saying, in general, if that game had gone on, no one would remember it in 2 years.
2 years, you won't remember it in 2 weeks.
Right. Exactly.
Got about 2 years, but what is the point you're making on this? I'm trying to.
You tell me. Why aren't we talking? I'm asking you the question. Why aren't we talking? Why is this not mainstream? Why do I have to find this on Jason Whitlock? You tell me. What do you think that is?
Why isn't anyone talking about it? Why, just ESPN? Right. ESPN doesn't cover kids' sports.
This isn't kids' sports. This is Aqib Talib. This is a potential borderline Hall of Fame type player. He's at least going to be in the conversation of voting. I don't think he'll get in. I definitely won't now. But he would at least have been in the conversations because NFL Hall of Fame is open to everybody at this point. If you're a mediocre player, you have a chance to get in. I'm just
Have you been talking to John Shear lately?
You talking to me?
Yeah. You been talking to John Shear lately?
No? Why?
Because he has the same issue with the NFL Hall of Fame. But go ahead.
Well, that's more than John who thinks that. I mean, there's a lot of people that think that. I think the NFL Hall of Fame is too easy. The MLB Hall of Fame is probably a bit too hard. But regardless, I'm just curious. Like, if Ben Roethlisberger had done this, would we be talking about it? Just curious. What do you think?
Well, Ben Roethlisberger is a much bigger name.
Oh, got it. Right. Like Jimmy G, right? Jimmy G's a much bigger name. Why is he not getting traded?
Why has he not what?
Why has he not been traded?
Why has he not been traded?
Yeah. Been to a Super Bowl, NFC Championship last year, exceeded expectations. Now nobody wants him. Sounds awfully familiar to another San Francisco quarterback.
Not sure what one has to do with the other.
Oh, it has much to do with the other.
I totally disagree with you.
Why? Why?
Well, I'm looking right now, and it is on ESPN. You want the article? It's from 2 days ago.
Sure. Is it on the front page?
I have no idea. It's 2 days ago, so it probably wouldn't still be on the front page now.
Oh, it should be.
From 2 days ago, no. The news cycle isn't that long.
It was not on ESPN. I watched ESPN. I watch it. It's on my TV in my office. I'm working. I'm still in my office right now. It's extension season. I have ESPN on. It was not on. It was not talked about. It's a back page article.
So you just said it wasn't an article. Now I gave you the article. You said that it wasn't on ESPN. I told you it was on the ticker. I never said it was talked about.
Right.
So
proving the point. Why?
But you said there was no article. I just sent you the article. So
you get caught in semantics.
That's not semantics.
The overriding point is this is not a major issue, and it absolutely should be. And if it was someone like Ben Roethlisberger, it would have been. If it was someone like Christian McCaffrey, it absolutely would have been mainstream news.
You're killing me.
How's that killing you?
Because that's so not the case. Had it been, let's see,
Christian McCaffrey.
No, let's try. So you're trying to say it's a race issue?
I'm trying to say that's all that gets talked about in today's world. That's it. And
so
this is something that is negative towards a stereotype, right? That I'm not saying is true. I'm just saying it's negative towards it. So people like ESPN will shy away from it when I don't see a stereotype involved. I see a tragic situation that should be used to advance an issue that is an actual issue right now. And it's not because people are afraid to say the wrong thing and be PC when this has nothing to do with race. It has zero to do with race.
I disagree with you. They talked about Henry Ruggs. Why would they have spoken about that?
Well, that's a little bit different.
Yeah. But
a little bit different.
You're saying it's a PC thing, so you're saying it's a race thing. So
that's one is involving a car and one is involving a gun. They're two different issues. One does not perpetuate a stereotype, one does. But even more so proving my point, because they bring up that, no problem. But this perpetuates a negative stereotype, so people want to be PC. And that's the issue, is that PC is ruining the culture. PC is destroying everything. It doesn't matter if this was an African American, a white person, an Asian, a woman. It doesn't make a difference. The point is that this issue should have been brought up and should be all over the place right now, just like Henry Ruggs was. That was mainstream news for a lot longer than 2 days. A lot longer. That was nonstop talked about. Now, I can give you that maybe he was a little bit higher of a profile player and it was a little bit more unexpected, but this is a huge issue right now. This is a major issue, is violence in children's sports. And if you want to do real journalism, this is a great time to bring it up and use that as the issue to start a real conversation on this. And I just think it's a shame that everything has to be turned into a race issue and PC when it doesn't need to be. It doesn't. There's no need for it.
I don't know. I disagree with you. There's an article on it on ESPN. It's a youth football game. It's not a pro sport.
So what?
You know,
that's the whole point, is that there's trouble in youth sports right now. That's the whole point. And this is an athlete that, like I said, was borderline Hall of Fame. So it's significant enough. And it's not like he played 10 years ago. He was in the league, what, last year?
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I think if he was a current player, it'd be different. The fact that he's not in the league, you know.
I just can't believe that it's a total non-issue.
I mean,
in any event, why don't we lead this into what I brought up briefly? How I think it's very interesting. You have Colin Kaepernick and Jimmy G on two very similar paths. Very, very similar paths. Colin Kaepernick was actually on his own team and got replaced by Blaine Gabbert because he was playing so terrible and then couldn't get a job in the NFL. And everybody pulled the race card on that. And now Jimmy G took his team to a Super Bowl and he can't get a job. He took his team to a Super Bowl, NFC Championship last year. No one wants him. Nobody. And my point is I think that this shows it wasn't a race card, wasn't a race situation in either situation. Both quarterbacks outperformed to their ability on their team and fell off. And they're just not as good as people, as you would think that they would be on the market.
I think the Colin Kaepernick thing was easily fixed by giving him tryouts,
which he has had.
Very limited for places that teams that needed quarterbacks. Very limited opportunity.
It's interesting how he tried out for slavery because he called the NFL slavery. So interesting. Someone would try out for slavery. In any event, he was replaced by Blaine Gabbert. He was playing that badly. maybe there's a reason that nobody wanted to try him out. Maybe it had nothing to do with it. All I'm saying is that you can't sit there and say without a shadow of a doubt it was strictly because of race in either situation. Sometimes the talent doesn't outweigh the baggage.
But no one said it's completely because of race.
That's the whole argument. There's a whole movement about it. What? He has a whole Nike line about it. What are you talking about?
If he had Tom Brady's talent, he could kneel through every national anthem from now until 2055.
Exactly. That's the point. Thank you. I win. Thank you.
At the same time.
Thank you. It is not a race issue. You just said it. It is a talent issue.
But at the same time,
the problem.
He's still better.
It's a talent issue with Jimmy G. It was a talent issue with Colin
Kaepernick. He's still better than a majority of second-string quarterbacks. And when guys had to get tryouts, he was better than a lot of guys that were brought in.
And he also had a lot of baggage, a lot of negativity. And for a backup quarterback, sometimes that's not worth it. And he probably wanted a boatload of money too.
Well, see, that's the great thing. The tryouts, you don't pay for.
Okay.
Let him try out.
He's had plenty of tryouts.
He hasn't had plenty of tryouts.
Plenty. Every time it's a news fest. The one that he wanted to have that was recent right after that,
how many tryouts does he have?
It had to be on his field. It had to be with his crew. It had to be. Who says that?
He actually did. His lawyers advised him why.
He had an attitude problem, dude. The dude had an attitude problem. No, that's the main reason he didn't get a tryout.
He had good lawyers, and when you read over what the NFL wanted him to sign for their extravaganza, it was not a smart move to go through with it, which is why he pulled out.
Right. And you read that too?
I read it back in the day. I don't remember it now, but
sure. I believe that.
You would sign away your rights, Mr. Right?
What rights? What rights are I signing away at a tryout?
So he had to sign a waiver in order to try out. So look back at it before you talk about it. Go look back at it and read what he had to sign, and you tell me that you would sign that.
And it was different from every other tryout ever.
It was a completely separate waiver that was sent.
Okay, and what was it? Tell me. You read it?
It was years ago, so I don't remember it off the top of my head. But
if it was that significant, you would remember it.
No, I could care less, to be honest with you. But I read what was there, and it was not worth him going through the tryout. He was advised by his legal team not to do it.
Right, because he could make more money by complaining and starting a whole new Nike line.
Right.
He made so much money, so much more money by not being in the NFL. So much more. But regardless, that's beyond what we're talking about. The whole point is that clearly the issue was talent. Clearly. You said it yourself.
Because, he's not better than Josh Rosen. He's not better than...
He wasn't better than Blaine Gabbert.
Not better than Daniel Jones.
He's not better than Blaine Gabbert.
He's not better than Daniel Jones, who's a starter.
Who Tyrod Taylor is going to overtake this year?
I mean, so I don't know. I'm sure if we go through the list, there's two guys right without even thinking.
But Tyrod Taylor is his backup.
Right. And what's Colin Kaepernick? Nothing.
Tyrod Taylor is his backup.
Right.
Tyrod Taylor is his backup. It doesn't matter if he's better than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones was a first-round draft pick. Right. You invested that in him. You're going to give him the chance.
Kaepernick backs up who?
Who cares? That's irrelevant.
He
had a tryout this year. If he was better than Tyrod Taylor, he would have been there. He's not.
No, because the
Giants was horrific from Warren Sapp. He said it too. Horrific. Horrific.
Wow.
Horrific.
I don't know what
Warren Sapp
planet,
must be racist. He must be.
I don't know what planet you're on.
I don't know what planet you're on. The dude lost out to Blaine Gabbert 5, 10 years, 8 years ago. However long was it? 2014.
Right. And
I agree. Jones should have never been a first-round draft pick. But the fact
Eli
is,
Manning lost out to Daniel Jones at the end. Because he retired. Daniel Jones became the starting quarterback of the Giants.
Daniel Jones should have never been a first-round draft pick. Dave Gettleman's the worst GM, maybe in the history of the NFL. But at this point, you've invested a first-round draft pick in him. You have him on a rookie contract. It's in his final year. You give him the chance. If he doesn't prove himself, you yank him and put Tyrod Taylor in, who is also better than Colin Kaepernick. Maybe that's racist too. Come on, man. It's enough. It's enough.
You just don't get it.
You're right. I don't get it. I don't. I don't.
So
I don't get it. It's a talent issue, but not.
We
I don't get
it.
it.
Ride later. I got the Brooklyn Bridge for sale. I'll get you the deed.
Dude, your words. It's a talent issue. Your words.
No, that's not what I said.
Oh.
I said that he's
not
on
the tape. Is exactly what you said.
Then again, no one that's ever played the games as good as Tom Brady. So
it doesn't matter. If it was Justin Fields would be playing. Who gives a shit? Come on. Ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Terrible argument.
It's completely.
Let's move on because this is just beyond.
You think
your own words you're trying to say you didn't say.
No, I know what I said. I said he's not Tom Brady.
Right.
But then again,
right. Because it's a talent issue. If he had talent, he'd be playing.
That's not what I said.
He could beat out Blaine Gabbert, who also shouldn't have been a first-round draft pick, but he was. If he could beat out Blaine Gabbert, he would be playing. But he couldn't because he sucked.
Wow. We're going for hearing test next week on the show. Join us as we go to Sam's Club to get hearing test.
We don't need a hearing test.
We do. Because you hear some amazing things.
I heard you say it's a talent issue. Yes.
I said he's not Tom Brady.
Right. Meaning he doesn't have the talent. If he had Tom Brady's talent, if he had actual talent.
Who else in the NFL, in the history of the NFL, is as good as Tom Brady?
Okay, so if he had Aaron Rodgers' talent, would he be playing?
Once again, you don't answer my question. Who else in the history?
Nobody. So answer nobody. So I answered yours. Now answered mine. If he had Aaron Rodgers' talent, would he be playing?
Possibly.
Oh, sure. Right. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
right.
Rodgers can't win
Aaron Rodgers. No, you can't play. Sorry.
Rodgers can't win the playoffs. So I mean, if I was a GM, I wouldn't.
You sound ridiculous right now. You sound ridiculous right now.
Rodgers isn't worth the headache. I would have got rid of him before I got rid of Kaepernick.
Oh, must be a race thing.
You're right.
I'm
glad you figured it out.
Ridiculous. Yeah, I've definitely figured it out.
So what's your last topic? Because,
the last topic is I wanted to ask you what your opinion is on Marshawn Lynch and what happened with him it was like a week ago, maybe?
Right. DUI.
Did you see the video?
So, no, I didn't see the video. I know we got a DUI.
Oh, we didn't just get a DUI.
Okay, what happened?
So, I only saw a portion of it, but apparently, and it was morning. I don't know what time.
Daytime. I saw it. Like I said, ESPN's on, so I'm sure I saw it.
It was daytime.
It was
anyway.
Daytime.
There was a long streak of stuff behind him, and he was up on a curb in a Mustang. Something, a high-end Mustang, and a wheel was off his car. A wheel. Like it was just the rim, not even the rim, like the whole wheel was off the car.
Right.
And it was up on a curb. He couldn't speak legibly. And he was sitting in the driver's seat. And he was asked multiple times calmly by several police officers to step out of the vehicle. He would not. And after about 6 or 7 times, they pulled him out and threw him on the ground and arrested him because he was disobeying a lawful order from the police officers. Now, my issue is that there are people that are already talking about police brutality towards him and how this was handled terribly by the police officers, and that he shouldn't be charged for a DUI. And my whole issue is, it just goes to show where our culture is today, that, again, regardless of race, that's not my point. My point is that if you're sitting in a car and you are in a driver's seat and you are drunk, it doesn't matter. It depends on the state, how if you have to have the keys in the ignition, if the car has to be on, etc.
Right.
He was in with the ignition. The car was on, from what I read. It was a clear-cut case of DUI. He refused lawful orders to step out of the vehicle, which is absolutely in the jurisdiction of police officers. And people were saying that that the police officers were in the wrong. And my problem is that this culture defends people who are doing criminal acts to the nth degree. I don't care, again, if you're straight, gay, Asian, white, black. It doesn't make a difference. Okay? You commit a crime, you disobey police officers, you're going to get arrested, and you're going to go to jail.
So I would like to have seen the video to say,
they threw him on the ground. They arrested him pretty hard, but like, he didn't have a bruise on his face. He didn't get scuffed up.
Right. Like, I can't give you an opinion on something I didn't see, so I'll reserve that part of it. But I think the bigger issue is, it's daytime. Why is he this inebriated that,
Why are people defending this? Why would you defend this? What about that is defensible? What?
As far as...
He was 4 times over the legal limit. 4 times.
There's obviously a problem there. He needs to get that figured out. As far as the police part of it, I didn't see it, so I'm not going to comment on something I didn't see. You do have to listen to lawful orders. I do agree with you. But I can't tell you what happened after that, so I'm not going to say.
He doesn't have any abrasions on his face. He doesn't have any bruising. Nothing.
I get that, but like I said, I didn't see it, so I'm not going to comment and give an opinion on something I didn't see.
What are the police? What are you? Don't have to comment. I'm just saying, you're a police officer. Someone's clearly drunk. That's literally how he was talking.
Like I said,
mumbling, stumbling. I'm just saying, mumbling, stumbling. You've asked several times to step out of the vehicle, and they won't. What are you supposed to do?
Now, my question to you is that I don't know, because I don't deal with drunk people like that. Could he have legitimately got out of the vehicle and been okay to get up?
He didn't ask for help. He said no.
I get that, but, as a police officer, maybe you don't know. If someone's that drunk, can they legitimately get out of the car?
Okay, but he said no. He answered and said no.
I get that, but you're saying he was speaking,
he was mumbling, but he clearly said no.
But once again, forget about the yes or no part, because that's irrelevant.
Okay, so what are you supposed to do?
I mean, is there a better way they could have handled it? I didn't see it, so I'm not saying they're wrong or right. But could someone in that state possibly get out of the car and be okay?
Listen, if you're not going to obey a lawful order, you're going to get tossed out of the car. What about the safety of the police officers? What if he has a gun under his seat? You don't know.
Like I said, I'm not saying which side's right or wrong. I'm just asking you to think about.
I'm not saying anything pertaining to this. I'm saying in general. That's what I'm asking. In general.
Right.
In general, what are you supposed to do as a police officer?
Listen, what did I tell you before? You have to listen to lawful commands by police officers.
100%. Because if he did, I guarantee you none of that would have happened.
Right. I'm not saying. But my question is, in the state he was in, could he have gotten out of the car? And I don't know the answer to that, because I don't
know. But again, if you are in that inebriated of a state that you can't even get out of the front seat, you deserve to be thrown down and arrested.
I don't know about throw down. If you physically can't do it, what happens if
What are they
throw
supposed to do? When I grab you out of the car, what am I supposed to do? Just gently pull and just gently put you
I mean,
down.
you could have held them up, I guess.
Held him up. What? No, not
Also,
in that video. That wouldn't have happened.
you could pull somebody up rather than throw them down. There's two ways.
That would not have worked in that situation.
Like I said, I didn't see it, so I can't comment on what I didn't see. But I just don't know. It's somebody in that situation if they legitimately get up. So that's my only concern with that. Without seeing it, I'm going to hold my thoughts on what happened. Is it right or wrong? But there's obviously a bigger problem if he's that much over the limit.
The issue in general is not even the police video, because if there was, it would have been plastered. We won't talk about shooting at youth football games, but if there was an issue with that, it obviously would have been posted everywhere. There obviously wasn't an issue. I think you can both safely assume that if there was, it would have been everywhere.
I'm sure if there was something wrong, I'm sure we would have seen it.
That's what I'm saying. So you can assume that nothing was done wrong, because
I won't say nothing, but that it wasn't anything majorly.
There was nothing wrong with what happened, is what I'm saying. My point is, again, the overall issue that people are defending him in general. You want to say maybe that the police were too strong in their actions, okay, but defending him in that situation.
Yeah, no, I mean,
there's no defense to what he did.
No,
zero.
You shouldn't be.
He could have killed multiple people.
Right. You shouldn't be
multiple people.
Drunk. You shouldn't. Like I said, the only thing, my only question: can he get out of the car in that state?
Again, irrelevant to what I'm saying.
No, I mean it is relevant, but
no. What I'm saying is, I'm speaking to the culture of defending celebrities, athletes to the nth degree when they do bad, wrong, criminal acts just because they're famous, just because you are so far skewed in your mind to what needs to happen. Like, this is a criminal act. Can we not all agree that DUI is a criminal act, and that if you've gotten to the point where you've driven a car, the car has no wheel, you've hit a stop sign, a curb, you need to go to jail for that. You probably should never drive again, or at least get your license taken away for a long period of time because you're irresponsible. Look at the chick, for example. Look at the chick that ran through the red light and killed 5 people. 5 people. She had a history of tons of accidents. Why didn't her license get taken away?
That was insane.
Why didn't her 90 miles an hour?
That was insane.
Why people are so against criminals getting punished is beyond me. It is leading to the destruction and rotting of our society. If we cannot collectively agree that there are some rules that need to be followed, and there are some that shouldn't be, that don't need to be laws, whatever, but at least a core value, like DUI is wrong. If you have the DUI on your record, the first one, you get X amount of your license taken away. Your second one, you don't drive again, period. You lose your license. I guarantee you there'd be a lot less DUIs. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I mean,
guaranteed. Because you know why? Because these people that get DUIs, that get us, one thing happens. When you get your first DUI, you either straighten out and it doesn't happen again because you get scared straight, or you keep having it happen because you don't care. So once you get that second one, done. Take the license away. Don't give a chance for a third. Don't give a chance.
I hear you. I don't know. I mean, I don't understand the whole DUI thing with after the first time. The first time even itself is pretty bad. But then again, I'll all say we're all young at one point, young and dumb.
Listen, if you don't hurt anybody, you get in trouble, you get your license suspended for 6 months, and I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying you straighten yourself out. I'm all for a second chance in that situation.
Right.
But if you get the second chance and it happens again, you don't get a third.
Yeah.
You don't get a third. It's over. Because what happens when you get a third is you're going to do it again. You get a fourth, you're going to do it again.
Yeah, I can't understand why they
I
be.
don't understand why our culture is against punishment. I don't get it. Anyways, we've been on blabbing. I'm good. Let's wrap it up and actually be on again in 2 weeks. It's been too long since we've been on.
Yes. So we'll be back in 2 weeks, which will be what, September.
Yes, 2 weeks. No, it'll be August 31st.
31st is for the week.
It'll be 31st, and then I can't. Yeah, then I should be good for the 14th. Maybe we'll take off that depending on how my deadline's going. But
So-
my birthday is 3 weeks today, so
Nice. So where can people find you?
you can find me at Instagram at golds_cards. Post a lot on there. You can find me on my website, www.adamgoldsteincpa.com, doing taxes, valuation, any type of that fun stuff. JB, where can we find you?
JB _ the program, Sideline Sports. We got 7 nights a week. We'll see you in 2 weeks. We're out.